Joining conference now. This conference is being recorded by the organizer.
Achieve the impossible. And that every situation just becomes a stepping stone. This is Brother Davis on a Wise Wednesday. We're coming up on that last break. So, Scotty, if you want to take that break now, we'll come back and hopefully the phones are fired up.
Make Black Talk Radio your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
And we're breaking the program, y'all. And here's what's so unique about it. It's your initiative, not mine. Literally. If a person would ask me and say, well, look, I don't have no money. I want to do what you're doing. I want to be able to start something. What can I do? I tell them, get a pencil and a piece of paper, go next door to your neighbor's house, and say, excuse me, if there was going to be a change in the neighborhood, what would you like to see? And listen, because they might want to see the same thing that you want to see, and make some notes. And then go to the next neighbor. And before you know it, you can say, well, look here, we got something like this going. Would you be interested in incorporating yourself and your resources? Well, yeah, I got a little plumbing in my background. Yeah, I could do that. You'll be surprised of what you can achieve when you take the initiative to make change. Was there somebody on the phone or somebody call in, Scotty?
Yes. May I be heard?
Yes.
Hello? Hey, how you doing today, Brother Davis? This is
hey, brother, it's great, man. Who am I speaking with? Oh, excellent, brother. How you been, man?
Yeah. I've been good, man. I've been good. Just been, trying to take it slow, learn what I can, and move one day at a time. But I just wanted to call. Yeah, I just wanted to call and say, thank you for the episode today. Like you say, when you start talking, you got to break out the pencil and paper because you're just gonna drop knowledge that most people aren't aware of. Like the Mud Act. I didn't know anything about that. I think like when you were talking about how after you eat beef, it gets into your bloodstream and starts to coagulate. I think low-key you might have just explained how what we call the itis, how that works. Like you eat a plate of like pork ribs or something like that, and then all of a sudden you get sleepy and sloth-like. So thank you for that. But, I just wanted to say thank you for the episode and for opening some doors for people like myself. I was kind of wrestling with the idea of getting back into social media, things like your Instagram, your Snapchat. I didn't want to just because, I've seen what happened to individuals like Colin Kaepernick, but I think it is kind of like you say, you can't really be afraid, not to mention the system's going to do what the system is going to do, so the more voices that speak up, the better. And I practice a martial art called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've had the pleasure of teaching some children from time to time. And, like you say, you can kind of see it in their faces and in their eyes every now and again when you really help a little kid with something they're struggling with and they get it for the first time, and then they look at you like for, reconfirmation. And you're like, yeah, man, that's all there is to it. You don't need me anymore. You can go out forth into the world and keep doing, whatever it is you're doing. So
absolutely.
I think it's, kind of like you said or just alluded to, I think it is important, like you say, like they see people that look like them and, sound like them doing the right thing and at least trying to move in the right direction. So for that, I just wanted to say thank you. And that was really more of a comment than a question, but yeah.
Well, brother, look, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Let me give you a little caveat. I used to live off of 54th and Imperial.
Okay.
I was in the heart of the gang-banging territory.
You're on the east
was
side.
all the way live. When it was all the way live, man. So I'm telling you, I'm bringing this experience with me because I'm letting people know, look, you're going to have some rough circumstances, but even those people You just haven't had someone to really open the door for them. So, look, I really appreciate your call, man, and feel free to call anytime because we always got something on Black Talk Radio that's a tool someone else can use.
All right. Much appreciated. I'll mute my line and jump back in the queue.
Okay, brother. Thank you very much. Now, see, that's what we need right there. Now, that brother right there, he made my evening. You know why? Because he's telling you that through the initiative that he's already demonstrated to himself, he knows he's capable. Now he just want to find his step. And when he does, anything can happen. And that could very easily be you. We can't see ourselves the way others want us to see ourselves. We must see ourselves for the giants and the visionaries that we are. Because that's what's going to change our circumstance. Because I'm going to tell you something. These people are not going to relinquish anything. I don't know how long it's going to take you to realize that, but I realized that a long time ago. They are not going to relinquish anything. So I get to my frame of mind where I'm going out, and I'm going to take what I need today. I'm not going to hurt nobody when I take it. And if someone is offended, that's their choice. Because offense is a choice. So if they're offended, oh well. But in reality, I still got to do what I need to do in order to progress on the path that I lay before myself. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm targeting these young brothers. I am targeting these young brothers because my wife is targeting the sister. And she has her way and her own uniqueness about it. And sometimes I'll say, But in reality, these are the young ladies we have to deal with today. My wife is very dainty. I'm going to tell you, just to give you an idea, she was a dancer the first 9 years of her life. And she went into studio in her young life, yeah. And then she went into doing plays in school and plays in the social circuits in the neighborhood and that sort of thing. So literally, when we look at these children today, and we have some, if you ever consider dance, a lot of them don't even know that there's dance schools around to teach things like ballet, jazz, and tap. You see, we can bring those back into our communities with those people who had that experience. They don't know that if they take and sit down with a needle and thread, that they can not only make clothes, but they can mend clothes. You know why? Because that's not what they see a lot of. But if they had the opportunity, you see them brothers out here and these sisters out here that's designing clothes, somebody opened that knowledge up to them. And that they just ran with it. Matter of fact, I have I can't even say close friend, but I got to say close now because I moved close to her in the South. She's out of North Carolina. But her name is Charisma Flows. She does her own clothing designer for a little larger women, or should I say curvaceous women. And believe me, some of her stuff is really, really nice. And it's just designed for curvaceous women. You got to go, if you get a chance to check out her site, it's Charisma Flows. She's in a part of the Black Media Network directory in that area. But when I see things like that, it really makes me realize that it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a door to open. And sometimes that door to open, you just might be good with kids. You just may have a knack to be able to say, well, look, let's get together and play basketball. Because when you organize that, so wait a minute, no 10 on the court at a time, and after we run 5 or 10 minutes, then the next 10 will run 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll start pairing off. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let you guys to pick out the best out of each 10, and then we rebuild other teams. And that way we can round robin down to the best players playing the best players. There's always a way, but we have to initiate something. And during the course of that conversation, you ask them questions. Well, can you read? Because, see, a lot of them don't even discuss that. You know why? Because it's an embarrassment to them. But if they say, well, no, I really wanted to learn. How old are you? Well, I'm 11, but I said, well, you want to learn before you're 12? See, I'm putting something out there that they might not have thought about. Because I may not be the one to teach them, but I know there's another student there who's an avid reader. And I go to them and say, look, man, I got a situation here maybe you can help me with. Well, what's that? Well, I wanted to get together with so-and-so because he didn't have the ability to read. And I know you're an excellent reader. And he's like, oh, man, do you know what type of person he is? It doesn't make a difference. All I need you to do is give me maybe 20 minutes a day, teach you some basic reading skills, and let me know what level he's on. I'll find the material that he could take home and practice. Together, we can make sure this brother's reading in a year. Or at least reading to be knowledgeable enough to be able to understand what he reads. You see, you have to understand everything is a process. We have to see our way through the process. What is important to me is that I've done the best I can with the time that I'm blessed with here in this time-space continuum. And the reason why I say it like that is because I think I'm being prepared for where I'm moving on to next to the transformation. I don't think it's anytime soon, don't get me wrong. That's why the work that needs to be done has to be done here. That's what I'm saying. So we apply ourselves, and just as a people. And when we go outside in the morning and say, hey, good morning, what's up, what you doing over there? Look at you all hard and everything. Look, man, I just greeted you to say good morning. You can't say, come here, let me talk to you. That's how you flow. Because, see, that way they don't feel stressed. That brother might have just been a point where he ain't had no breakfast. You never know. And that way you can be educated. If you just give them a piece of fruit, it's something. We must give our children something. And in giving them something, we can create anything. Because the seed would never stop the natural process. It's a part of it. And wherever you put a seed, whatever that seed is, it's going to grow. And we got to focus on how we can get that growth to enhance the quality of life that we have so they can have it. A lot of these kids nowadays, they don't even think about getting old because they know there ain't no jobs. You know what I tell them? They want to create one then. What? We create a job. What do you mean? Well, this thing is called entrepreneurship. You see, you take the mind and you move it into an area in which offers them an opportunity to challenge themselves. And you'll be surprised what they can come up with. You heard about the brother in Africa who built an engine out of old parts in a junkyard? And then he turned around and he built a generator, a solar generator with old parts in the junkyard. And now one of the local millionaires has incorporated that idea, and now they're getting energy in a lot of homes that could never have it before. Never see your seed as a seed. See it as your vision. When you see it as your vision, it'll grow because you'll plant that seed 1,000 times to get it to grow. I once said that a great tree started out as a seed, but not every seed becomes a great tree. So we might have to do a lot of planting, but we can do this. We just got to take the power back. We got to shut the programs down, and we got to operate our program. And when you operate your program, don't be possessive of it. Don't let your ego get involved. Look for results. And then that's when people walk up and say, yo, man, I see what you're doing over here. Can I help? What can I do? Bingo. We're on the road now. And guess what? That's when you say, well, what's your skill, man? What's your skill set? Because he might be an auto mechanic. Another avenue. Another way we can bring the community out so that we can help them. You see, because they come in and say, yo, man, I'm having some car problems. Can you check it out? And they'll say, well, look, this is the deal. Well, I can check out your car and tell you what the problem is. You're going to have to go buy the part, but then you got to make a contribution to our organization. You'll be surprised at how many people, and that word gets out. Then you have the specials. On Saturday mornings, we have an oil change. You buy the cans of oil that you need, and you give $10 into our project. I know some of you are saying, well, that's just as much as cost of the oil change. It is, but you're going to give it to the white man to do the same thing, and he ain't putting nothing back in your community. Give it to the people who's going to take that $10 and put it into the community so that money will circulate more than one time. And guess what? Your next oil change, you'll be looking for them. Next time your car has a problem, you'll be looking for them. Because as it expands, then guess what? Other people are going to come in. Here goes somebody that's good with tires. What's he want to do? He wants to rotate your tires and he fixes all flats. Then he could teach somebody else that skill. The whole thing is based on the old African proverb of each one teach one. And the other proverb of it takes a village to raise a child. I'm not talking brain surgery here. I'm not talking anything new. I'm talking about defeating the program that's defeating us and igniting the program that will change us. Because the next program that we initiate will be done by the next generation. And that program will be based on empowering us to another level. And the reason being is because they've been taught by the people who taught them how to change the circumstance to empower oneself. But if we don't take time to be the example, we cannot blame nobody but ourselves. And I ain't real good at blaming myself. I'd rather put my hand to the plow. I'd rather grab the shovel than sit back and say, well, I wish I would have. And speaking of that, last time I had 4 or 5 days off, I was at the farm shoveling dirt, building boxes, and my wife was right there beside me. So we ain't just talking this. We're making this work. And everybody can make this work. And then listen, if you don't think it could work, you go ahead down to the city hall and you see plots of grass out there, ask them what it would require for you to go ahead and put a little garden out there. And watch how many people are going to watch that garden. And before you know it, they're going to want something out that garden. And then you can tell them, well, you know what? You can do a garden too. And before you know it, you do it in your backyard, the front yard, in the neighborhood. Don't make a difference. Because vegetables can grow anywhere the soil has any kind of natural nutrition in it. And sometimes you have to apply that. So don't worry. There's a way. Wherever there's a will, there's a way. And if there's any way I can help you, I'm more than willing. I'm more than willing to try to make a difference wherever I am. And that's what I want, the message I want you to understand from this show tonight. We are breaking the program to create a program. We're breaking their program, and understand their program is 24/7 on everything. So when you get ready to go out and you want to buy that pack of cigarettes, think about that. The pack of cigarettes costs $7. Ultimately, it's going to do more damage to me than help me. Maybe I could invest the $7 somewhere in my community and look for a spot. Go out, you want to eat? I'm not saying don't eat meat. I'm saying eat meat casually. All right, you want to get away from it? Then eat meat instead of every day of the week. Eat meat, say, 4 days a week. Instead of eating meat at every meal, eat meat at maybe one day and 2 meals on the third day until you get away from meat. And when you do, I'm telling you, your body immediately starts to let you know. Because those areas where you were stiff and your blood pressure was up, no, that will disappear. Because as you begin to get away from that, the water you drink has a different purpose. You see, a lot of people don't realize that water is the lubricant for the body also. So when you drink water, it's not only because your body is exhausted, but that water is also running down those blood veins with blood. So the more that goes through and the freer the blood flows, the more you have opportunity to wash out that blockage that was one time causing you a problem. And before you know it, 1 or 2 months, when you go get your blood pressure done, the doctor looks at you and says, well, I don't know what you're doing, but it's working. I've done it. I'm telling you, I lived it. And doctor down in the VA one time told me, look, you need to get together with some of your partners because some of them come out of here with 5 and 6 prescriptions. This is Brother Davis on Wise Wednesday, y'all. I appreciate the opportunity of coming into your home. I hope that I've given you enough to go out and make a difference. Yes, Brother Scott.
Yes, this is Robert calling in from Atlanta, Georgia. How you doing today, Robert?
Oh, yeah, brother. That's all right. Come on with it, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to try and reach out to you. I've taken heed to what you've been saying here lately, and I got inspired by YouTube, and I created a 55-gallon barrel vertical grow garden, and I kind of want to get my people involved, but I want to make it seem attractive. You understand what I'm saying? So what you saying was kind of a motivator today too, about what you was just saying about how can I instead of just charging people. Let's come up with a fund and let's try and build something together. I built this and I can help you build something and so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I did. I probably had to talk to you off air about it, but I like to get some of that organic soil that you got. If you sell a little bit of it.
Okay, look here, man. Do you got my number?
No, sir.
Okay, after the show, look, let me give you my email. And then you contact me, and I'll send you my contact information, okay?
Okay.
My email is blessed, BLESSEDR@AOL.com. Anybody within earshot, if there's a way I can help you, keep that in mind. That's my email. Blessed, BLESSEDR@AOL.com. Because I believe I can achieve the impossible. This is Brother Davis on a Wise Wednesday. Get back next week. We're going to have another show for you, Brother Scotty. Thank you very much, and it's back to you. Hey, Scotty, you there?
Yeah, but I was thinking that Dave was going to take over. You know, it is his show.
Okay.
Dave, you there? Okay, we're going to get ready to close it out. Brother Braggs, you want to chime us out? We got to make way for New Abolitionist Radio.
Great show, Brother Davis. Great show, as always. Much love, much respect.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, you're good to go, brother.
All righty, peace.
Gold dinar would have had serious consequences for the world financial system, but may also have empowered the people of Africa, something black activists say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing cake. We're slicing cake. We're slicing cake.
Say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing cake.
Say the US wants to avoid at all costs.
We're slicing.
Gaddafi didn't give up.